I feel like no one with a disability has won an Oscar or won an award before. And so with all the hard work and dedication I put into my work, I feel like I want the world to see that I can do it and that I can make a difference.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Up and Adam Show. My name is Adam Lupis. Guys, we're joined by a very special guest. I'm very excited because we're talking with an actress, a model, an advocate for people with disabilities. She's doing so many amazing things, and I'm excited to welcome Lily D. Moore. How's it going?
It's going good. How are you?
Good. I really appreciate you joining me today. It's a pleasure to be speaking with you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem. Like I mentioned, you're doing so many cool things. You're an actress, you're a model, you're an advocate. First off, I don't know how you have time for all these amazing things because these things take a lot of time, and it can be very difficult to even get started, even just being an actress or a model or being an advocate. What inspires you to do all these amazing things?
Well, I was at a very young age. I was like acting and modeling. Like I've always seen people acted, and I've always seen people that, modeled. And I was like, this looks really interesting. This looks really fun. I would like to try this out. And so at a very young age, when I was 6, I used to live in Europe for 3 years with my parents. And I took a drama class in school and I fell in love with it. And then once I came back home, my mom signed me up for classes and workshops and got agent, and ever since I've been acting.
That's awesome. Yeah. And then
Yeah.
has it been at first when you start, because everybody when they start acting or any type of career or venture, it comes with struggles, right? Did you go through any hardships at the beginning, trying to get an agent or even just acting in general or trying to get into modeling? Was it difficult at first for you?
Yeah, I definitely had a lot of struggles at first with that. Like we submitted to over 20 agencies and only one wanted an interview with me. So I was like, okay. So I did my interview with them. They really liked me. So I signed to them. But then I didn't realize in the acting industry that there would be so much rejection.
Yeah.
And I'll say that for me is definitely the hardest struggle still today. It's still really hard.
Yeah. What kept you motivated? What kept you pushing after all those rejections? Like you said, 20 agencies and stuff. What kept you going?
Well, I sometimes when I think about it, I'm like, this is upsetting, but I'm like, Lily, just think of the positive stuff. Think about all this amazing stuff I've been doing. Yeah. So I've been trying to like focus on, thinking about all the stuff I've been in and all that. I'm like, okay, this is making me feel better. And also just like praying as well. Like all of that has been helping a lot. So that's definitely been helping.
Yeah. And I saw you in the Netflix show where I first actually noticed you was from Never Have I Ever, which I love that show. It's so relatable and it's so much fun to watch. And you know what? When I saw you come on screen, you have a very great presence. You always seem to light up the room whenever you're on screen, and you like put like my girlfriend and I watched the show together, and like you just put a smile on our faces, right? Do you relate to this character in the show?
Yeah, I do. I feel like we both have independence, like really big independence now. Because now I'm in college now, and so I feel definitely independent. And I would say some of her like sassiness, I feel like I have some of that as well.
Yeah. I feel like we all need that. I feel like we all need that sassiness in our lives sometimes.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And even there's an episode we saw where you're doing the modeling thing, you're taking the photo shoot of Davey, right? And it's unique because you are a model yourself. So it's interesting. It's kind of having your real life kind of getting into this character too. It's unique to see all these things.
Yeah, for sure.
That's so cool. And like I mentioned too, how you light up the room with your presence and stuff, right? I always notice, even when you do your Instagram lives, I have you on Instagram, and you're always such a happy person. You're always giving people inspiration, and you're motivating people. And I noticed it through all your social media platforms, even in your bio. You right, everyone is brave, beautiful, and strong, right? And as an advocate for people with disabilities, what is something you like to preach?
Well, I like to preach that no matter what the disability that you have, is that it's okay to sometimes have challenges in your life, but things will get better.
Mhm.
And so I like to preach that, like, a lot, like, because, like, I know sometimes people have a hard time doing that, and so I just like giving them that, like, that reminder, that really, like, helps them. And I just remind them that everybody is unique, beautiful, and brave, and all that. And so, like, when they hear that, I feel like it definitely helps them realize that it's okay to be yourself, to, like, be who you are, and that everybody has a story to tell.
Besides the acting, what are other activities that you like to do? I read that you like to cook and stuff, but what are some things you could share with the audience, like some hobbies you'd like to do?
Yeah, I do like to cook, but I also like to swim and to horseback ride, and living living the college life.
And I
Yeah,
also read
thank
that
you.
you love to travel. Like that was something that was
Yes.
unique, and like especially places like Asia and Europe. What keeps you going back to these places like Asia and Europe? What about these places attracts you?
Well, so the reason we keep going back is because, like, I obviously used to live in Europe
Mhm.
for 3 years. And so we have, lifelong friends over there, or neighbors. So we'll go back over there to, like, visit everybody. And so that's, like, the main reason why we like to, like, travel. And also in my family, we love to travel all over the world. And so we always like to try out new places. So some of those places have been really fun and interesting to go to.
But that's so cool. You're doing all these cool things, traveling, cooking, swimming. Also, too, what the organizations that you're involved in. I mentioned that, of course, being an advocate, has led you to doing these organizations. A couple to name: Extra Special People, Breaking Barriers, and the Special Olympics. How did you get involved with those organizations?
Well, so I love to advocate and, like, be a self advocate for so many people.
Mm.
And so with all those organizations, it's been really fun to be a part of that. So, like, I'll go and, like, give speeches to, like, all different, you know, states, countries, some in person and some over Zoom because of COVID and all that.
Yeah,
But I like doing it. It's so definitely a fun hobby to have. And I got into it just because I always wanted to be a self advocate for people and with people with disabilities. And so I just, like, show the world who we really are.
that's awesome. Well, what
Yeah.
is this is something that I'm really curious about too. I want to hear your opinion on it. What is a common misconception when it comes to people who have Down syndrome?
Well, a lot of people with Down syndrome, we always get patted on the head and saying bless your heart. And so that is definitely a big one, because we just want to be treated like normal people and, like,
Yeah.
adults. And so sometimes we feel like when that happens, is like we feel like it's really rude and stuff to do that to somebody, or, like, saying the R word around people like us.
Yeah.
Like we should realize, like, that we just want to be like them, and that we
Yeah.
want to be treated equally. And so when that happens, we obviously, yeah, it hurts our feelings, but we try to look on the brighter side of things.
Yeah. And I really commemorate you for that, because it takes a lot of, courage and guts to even be an advocate in general, preaching the truth about these things, because it's like you just said, you guys want to be treated equally, but you guys are just like us too, and you guys are, it's like you just said, unique, brave, strong. It's to me, yeah, you're right. We should be treated equally. I think it's very important. So that's something
Yeah.
that I'm glad you said. Besides all that, like I mentioned, being an actress on Never Have I Ever and doing all these other projects, what are some upcoming things that you can share with us? Are you like that you're allowed to share if you have any upcoming projects?
Yeah, I was in a Hallmark movie called Color My World with Love, and I was the main star of that movie.
Oh, nice.
So that's gonna be a huge project. It released in June 12th. It released.
Yeah.
So it's pretty recent. So I'm very excited for that. And also, I was a part of a voiceover job for season 2 of a show called Teenage Euthanasia.
Wow, that's so cool. Do you like doing voiceover work? Do you notice it's
I
like
do.
yeah?
Yeah, I do like doing voiceover. I never done it before, so it's really interesting and really fun to do.
Yeah. What about that process did you learn that was completely different than acting? Like what did you learn doing voiceover?
That the obviously the difference is being in front of the camera
Yeah.
versus just doing it with your mouth only. It's a huge difference. And usually on like voiceover, on screen, you don't make sound effects. But when you do voiceover, you make like different sound effects and all that. So it's definitely really fun.
I feel like for voiceovering, I've done a couple voiceover things. I feel like you have to like not overact, but you almost have to be a little over the top because again, you're behind the camera. So it's almost as
Yeah.
if you kind of have to really project yourself and like physically and vocally. You have to really just act it out too.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. Awesome. I can't wait to
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
I can't wait to watch all your new projects. And the last thing I have to ask you is you mentioned that your dream is to one day be the first person with Down syndrome to win an Oscar. Why is this goal so important to you?
Well, because I feel like no one with a disability has won an Oscar or won an award before. And so with all the hard work and dedication I put into my work, I feel like I want the world to see that I can do it and that I can make a difference. And so I really think it's important because I feel like it's really important for me to win an Oscar just because, yes, it's one of my it's like one of my all-time dreams is to win an Oscar.
Yeah.
And every time I do like an acting gig, I'm like, what? Like sometimes I ask myself, I'm like, what job is going to lead me to this?
Yeah.
And so I just keep trying and trying and trying so hard to, get it to that point. So that's why it's very important to me.
That's awesome. And all I can say is that, knock on wood, your Oscar's coming because your dedication to the craft, acting, modeling, being an advocate, all these cool things, it's going to lead you to many great opportunities. And I wish you the best with all the upcoming projects. I can't wait to see your upcoming projects too. I'll definitely watch that new one you said. And I really appreciate you coming on today. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
And hope to stay in touch. I have you on Instagram. I'll let you know when this is posted, and we'll stay in touch.
Alrighty, sounds good.
All right, thanks, Lily. Take it easy. Thank you.
Thank you.